Good morning and happy Diwali to everyone, and of course Kali Puja tonight. I have to start with a small apology. You're going to hear a lot of things today that we heard last Sunday because Swami Sarvadevanji spoke on the same topic. But I thought it's Kali Puja night, I should stick to the same topic because the importance of worship of Mother Kali in our tradition is something fantastic. And there's the whole conception of Mother Kali and what she meant for Sri Ramakrishna, and later what she meant for Swami Vivekananda is really something that can't be overlooked. We may say that we're great Vedantins and Brahma Satyam, Jagad Mithya and everything, but this is such an important part, this mother worship, such an important part of this Ramakrishna Vivekananda Holy Mother tradition that we have. So I wanted to start with a little bit of background, what actually the situation was with regard to Kali worship and other things in general at the time of Sri Ramakrishna, and of course when Swami Vivekananda was still a teenager. Because we have to remember that for the British, sometimes I try to imagine what it was like for the British to come into contact with this worship of Mother Kali. These British who were so formal and stiff, and go to a church with their coat and tie and their dresses on and everything, and sing their hymns, stand up at the same time, sit down at the same time. And then they see this Mother Kali with that image, with the sword and a severed head, and around the waist, these arms that are cut off, and blood running all over and everything. They must have been horrified. Yeah, first of all, they didn't care for image worship at all. And the concept of worshiping God as mother was very much foreign. God was the father, and to see goats and sheep and water buffalo and maybe even human beings, there's not a bali being offered to this Mother Kali. Some of the dacoits, God knows what they did, what they offered and everything. They must have been just horrified. So this transferred to a large extent to the well-educated Bengali, young Bengal, the Brahmo Samaj people, and Swami Vivekananda was one of them. So this idea of this worship of this bloodthirsty mother who has to be fed slaughtered animals and everything, it was a horrifying idea to the British, and as I say, even the young Bengalis who were there, who were influenced so much, because most of them went to Christian missionary schools, because at that time, if you wanted a good job, you had to learn English, and if you wanted to go to an English medium school, most of them were run by the Christian missionaries. So this is why or Narendra, Swami Vivekananda, he used to say how I hated this Mother Kali. That is the whole idea of it was horrifying to him. And what a transformation took place in the life of Swami Vivekananda through the touch of Sri Ramakrishna and through personal experiences that he had. The other interesting thing about this worship of Mother Kali is there are almost two different Mother Kalis. We have this idea in the Chandi, with Durga and Kali and fighting battles and cutting heads, all sorts of things like that. And then we have the Mother Kali of Ramprasad and of Kamalakanta and of Sri Ramakrishna. This Ramprasad was really the one that Sri Ramakrishna looked upon as the ideal worshipper of the Divine Mother. And he obviously looked upon Ramprasad as a God-realized soul, a very special soul, because he used to say, Mother, you revealed yourself to Ramprasad. Why won't you do it for me? So he really felt some kinship. I sometimes think if the two of them could have met, they were separated by maybe 100 years, something like that. What a nice bond they would have had. And the life of Ramprasad is very interesting because there's so many similarities with Sri Ramakrishna. He came from outside of Kolkata, Halishohar, a little town. Thakur was from a village, but still, father died, had to go to the big city, had to take a job, and so many incidents took place in his life where he was unfit for any type of work. He spent all of his time writing songs and things, and he worked as a clerk, keeping accounts. And nobody liked him because he was honest, and he didn't take bribes, and the others did, and they caught him, instead of doing his work, writing songs. And they took that ledger book to his boss, and his boss, thank God, was a great devoted soul, a great devotee. And reading the songs, tears started to come down his eyes. And he said, "Oh, Ramprasad, you're not meant for this work. Go back to your village. I'll give you the same money that I'm giving now, and you worship Mother and write your songs." And he had so many visions of Mother that way. Other nice events took place. The Maharaja came and heard him singing, and all sorts of things. Anyhow, you can go to this Halishohar. I went when I was in India in 1978. And you can see the house of Ramprasad and the bathing ghat where he used to go, and where he passed away singing songs to the Mother on Kali Puja night with waist-deep. This is the story that we hear and everything. So anyhow, Sri Ramakrishna was very much influenced by him through the songs. He must have known something about his life. Oh, this summer I saw a very old black and white film on the life of Ramprasad. Has anybody seen it? It's very nice. It's very nice. It goes through all of the incidents. The lyrics to many of his songs are supposedly taken from incidents in his life. It's either that, or we assume that we piece together what his life was like by some of the lyrics from his song. But anyhow, so this worship of the Divine Mother in the form of Mother Kali has these two sides to it. One, this all-embracing side, that Mother is the mother of everything good and bad in the universe. And the other, this very sweet, loving side, where the devotee looks upon himself or herself as a small child, relying on the Mother. The idea of mother worship has a very deep philosophical significance also. Philosophical, and then we know, of course, psychological and emotional, thinking of God as one's very own mother. But philosophically, we find that we have the two aspects of the divine all wrapped up in one. And sometimes we find them separately, Shiva and Shakti. For Sri Ramakrishna, there was a unity to that. We have other traditions, the Sankhya tradition, where there are almost two separate categories. We have the Purusha and we have the Prakriti. But almost every philosophical tradition in India will have these two sides. That there'll be the transcendent, absolute, pure, unmoving, unchanging side. It'll be called the Brahman in some traditions, Purusha in some traditions. And then you'll have the active side and the creative side. And this will be Prakriti, this will be Shakti. Even in the highest type of Advaita Vedanta, they'll have the masculine and feminine, Brahman and Maya. Maya will be explained a little bit differently, but still. And Sri Ramakrishna used to say everything can be explained as the union of these two, of Shiva and Shakti, or we can say Brahman and Shakti. But union of these two, for Sri Ramakrishna, they were one. We can say two sides of the same coin, however we like it, but this is the main distinction between, say, the Sankhya school and Vedanta school, that there'll be a basic unity, and this divine power, this Shakti that's responsible for everything, belongs to Brahman. Belongs to Brahman. That means that Brahman has two aspects, nirguna, saguna, transcendent, perfectly pure, unchanged and everything. And then this aspect involved in the world, creating the world, entering into the world, dwelling within all the beings, moving through all the beings. There's two aspects will be there. And this the basic idea, we can say, of mother worship. Now, did Sri Ramakrishna embrace this type of philosophy? Yes, but we can't limit him. We can't limit him. This is a mistake, I think, that we make when we try to say that, yeah, he belonged to this particular school or that school. He liked them all. He appreciated all of the different ways of the worship. He was, we say, Sarva Dharma Swarupa. He was the embodiment of all different religious traditions, and Sarva Bhavamaya, of all spiritual attitudes. He practiced them, he liked them all, he realized God through all of them, but this had some special attraction for him, I would say, this idea of worshiping God as mother. And when he did all of his spiritual sadhanas, at the end of that, he seemed to just fall back into this more natural attitude for him, looking upon God as mother. So it never conflicted with any of the others, but this seems to be the one that he felt most comfortable with. This was the most natural to him, we can say. So we have this in many traditions, this whole idea of Mother Earth. In many, we talk about that here, or Father Time, something very subtle and transcendent. And everything will be this combination that we have, Brahman and Shakti. So Sri Ramakrishna, he used to explain this Mother Kali to Narendra in this very high philosophical, in this sense that, look, what you call Kali, what you call Brahman, I call Kali. It's nothing different. So don't think that we're simply talking about a four-armed goddess and everything. There's a very high philosophical point of view that this Kali is a Brahman, but nirguna, saguna both. That is, his power to create is present within Brahman, but not always active, doesn't have to be active. Brahman is Brahman. And when it's active, Brahman remains Brahman. But still, if we don't accept that aspect of Brahman, this is what I think Sri Ramakrishna meant when he said, we won't get the full weight of the bell fruit. Now he uses it in a slightly different context. Some people take it as Vishisha Dvaitavada. But I take it that way, that we have to accept both Saguna and Nirguna aspects, both as real, both as true, and then we'll get the full picture, we'll get the full weight. So we find in all of even Hindu mythology that every masculine deity will have a feminine deity. That will have Brahman and Saraswati and Vishnu and Lakshmi. Shiva will have a whole bunch of them. Yeah, there's Durga and Kali and Uma, Parvati, has a whole long list. I don't know how Shiva does it. I think with the others, say with Vishnu, there'll be different names, Lakshmi and Shri and everything, but only one deity. But Shiva, in every age or something, mother manifests in a different way. Some difference, Uma and Parvati and everything. But anyhow, this is a very common feature that seems to be just very easily understood. You can't have one side without the other side. That these both work together, they go hand in hand. This Advaita Vedanta emphasizes very much the other side, that's all, the transcendent side, but they also accept this visible universe, however it may be analyzed. So we can understand this by looking at the respective roles of the mother and the father, the husband and the wife, in giving birth to a child. Okay? So husband is necessary, but the material cause will be the mother. Mother will be, father has a role to play in the beginning, then the father can disappear. I often think that my parents' generation, it was very, very common that World War II was going on. And these boys, just teenagers, 17, 18, 19, they'll sign up to go to war. And before they go, they get married. Yeah. So for some reason, the future wife felt that God knows what will happen, but let us at least have had that sanctity of this union of marriage, and then they go off. So very often, a child would be born to the woman, and she becomes a mother. Husband doesn't know anything about it. He may be off in Germany or Japan, something like that. But second that the child is born, he becomes a father. Now, what happens to him when he becomes a father? Nothing. This is Brahman. No change whatsoever. But what happens to the mother? She goes through 9 months of hell. Morning sickness and all of that, and back aches and getting big tummy and everything, and then labor pains and everything. But men can't even imagine all of that. And then how much love and affection and attachment the mother has, because the child comes out of her very body. And is the material cause. What is the body of the child but the mother? It's actually a living cell, the egg that came out of the mother. So this relationship between the mother and the child is quite different, even from this kind of philosophical point of view, that one is a necessary but not sufficient cause and not the material cause. The other one is all of them. And the mother will have this nurturing quality inborn. As soon as the child is born, she'll start nursing the child. These are all very natural types of things. So this is a very nice model to help explain creation, that it's kind of this union between the male and the female aspects. Now, Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, will stress the fatherhood. We can say, they don't put it into these terms, but that means the unchanging nature of Brahman during all of this. Now, what is undergoing change? Sri Ramakrishna says Brahman itself has become this universe. That'll be the Saguna Brahman, that'll be the motherhood, the mother side of it. Or we can say Prakriti, or we have this idea of Shakti Parinamavada. And Sri Ramakrishna says that it's this divine power that manifests this whole universe. So this is how the same Brahman, male and female together, can remain unchanged at the same time that it's manifesting as this visible universe that we live in, and entering into everything and dwelling within all beings. So the very beautiful way of explaining things in terms of the male and the female, in terms of this pure consciousness and this Shakti, energy or power. So this is a very beautiful, very pristine type of philosophical thought. But, there's a big but. We cannot deny the fact that Mother Kali was something else for Sri Ramakrishna. And this is something that I don't know if anybody could understand it other than him. How real she was, how she was the most tangible, real reality, far more than anything else that he saw. That she was the mother who was constantly by his side, that she spoke to him, that she provided all the words that he had to say. He would hear the jangling of her anklets. It's so real that how we put these two side by side, this beautiful, high philosophical understanding of the Mother Kali and what she was personally to Sri Ramakrishna. And even how Swamiji will catch a little bit of this also. A little bit of this, even though he had his own understanding of who Mother Kali was. But this is part of the nature of the worshippers of Divine Mother, the inscrutable element here, that impossible to know exactly who and what this Mother Kali is, we have so many beautiful songs. There's Shad Darshane Napai Darshan. You study philosophy as much as you won't get the experience of Mother through that philosophy. And then there's Kamalakanta. He said, I've been pondering things my whole life, who this Mother is. Is she male or female? Is she black, white, yellow, red? I don't know. Whole life I've been pondering these things, and it just leaves my mind in a state of confusion. It's beautiful. We'll get to that final song of Kamalakanta. So this is something that defies logic. How the role that she played in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, how he longed for her vision. This is how his whole spiritual life started in Dakshineshwar as the priest in the Kali temple. And who was this mother that I'm worshipping? And even that first vision, we've heard about this first vision so many times, that wave after wave of bliss and the ocean of consciousness, and he was overwhelmed and lost all outer consciousness and everything. Still, there's some idea that he had some type of vision of Mother Kali at that time. It's not at all clear, because he doesn't say, yes, I saw her with her forearms and all. He doesn't say that. But afterwards, he was Ma, everything was the Mother Kali after that. So it's more or less assumed that this was some type of direct experience of the Divine Mother in the form of Mother Kali, however we can understand it. Now, to get to this psychological side, we see that this worship of Mother Kali will appeal to two very different personality types, which is exactly what we have with Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. Swamiji was the hero. Everything was strength with him, and Sri Ramakrishna everything was reliance and surrender. So the same Mother Kali manifests in both of these ways. That she'll be the loving mother who will always be there for the small child. She'll let the child run around and play as long as the child is happy. As soon as the child starts crying for the mother, she drops everything and goes out and takes him and puts him or her on her lap. This is the Mother Kali for Sri Ramakrishna. For Swamiji, everything, this power and this everything, this wonderful and terrible in the whole universe. That same Mother Kali. So, the concept of worship of Mother Kali is vast enough that it includes all of these different personality types and different types of attitudes that one can have. Thakur was very, very fond of this kitten example. That the kitten will only call on the mother, anything goes wrong, it'll just mew, mew, mew. It doesn't know how to do anything else. And the mother will come, and the mother will take it. If you've ever been to the zoo, did you ever see monkeys? They cling to the bottom. But he says the cat can't even cling. The kitten can only call for the mother. So the mother will take it, put by the scruff of the neck with her mouth, she'll lift it up and carry it, and wherever she places it, the kitten is happy. The kitten says, my mother placed me here. It must be the best place for me. I often think that we always talk about how much anxiety there is in the world. If we adopt this attitude of the kitten, then bhavna ki achiyar. There's nothing to worry about. Wherever we're placed, this is the best possible place for us. Now, is it literally true? Can we prove anything like that? That's a wrong question. Because this spiritual attitude, it'll remove anxiety. It will. If we really practice it and we really believe it and understand it, then there's no question. The problem is that we don't have enough faith. We may try to do it. So this is that beautiful illustration of perfect surrender and reliance on God, looking upon God as Mother, and it really emphasizes our helplessness, because every bhava, every spiritual relationship involves two. not just looking upon God as mother, but looking upon ourselves as small children. This is a particular relationship. A child who is too small to really take care of himself or herself, that the mother has to do everything. Maybe not an infant, someone who's old enough to cry for mother and everything, and force demands on the mother. But still recognizes his feeling of helplessness and this need to call on mother. Swamiji had this reliance towards the end also, and this feeling that everything is mother's play. We have the beautiful poem that my play is done. And this other aspect that everything is this lila, this divine play of mother. And really she's in charge of everything. Anyhow, let me get to Swamiji here, because we saw in the beginning what disdain he had for this idea of Kali worship. And what a tremendous transformation took place, how he argued with Sri Ramakrishna, and how he thought that Sri Ramakrishna's visions of Mother Kali and others were all just hallucinations. And Narendra, how he spoke to Sri Ramakrishna, we can't even imagine. And how Thakur didn't mind. How others, this is a little off subject. I was reading this morning about Girish Ghosh, that he got drunk one day, and I think it was at the theater even, and he spoke to Sri Ramakrishna in such terms that everybody said, let's leave here immediately. We don't want to see his face again. We don't want to allow him to come anymore. How we spoke to him. And Sri Ramakrishna was nothing. And he himself said the next day, let me go see him. He must feel bad. And then Girish said that if he hadn't come, I would have thought, like anybody else, that he'll get his feeling, this and that I'll respect him, a great holy man and everything, but who else will come if not God himself in human form, to be able to have that type of humility and everything. So, what led me to that? I lost my... Reliance. Anyhow. So we're going back to Swamiji. Okay, so Swamiji, and how, in the beginning he had such an antagonistic feeling towards the Mother Kali, but Swamiji was very complex, that I sometimes think we really misunderstand him a lot. He had a great disdain for a lot of the highly devotional types of things, this Radha Krishna business and everything, but yet we find him shedding tears singing those songs. Yeah. And once this Chaitanya Charitamrita was being read in Belur Math. We can read it, it's in the last chapter of the Gospel. And some were making fun. The Chaitanya go and this, and Swamiji got very angry. He said, this is how you spoil a good thing. Yeah. So deep down, Swamiji had a very tender heart and had that devotional side to him. He kept it a little bit hidden. And of course, it had to really blossom forth as the years went on. But anyhow, Sri Ramakrishna tried his best with his very logical types of explanations that don't think of Mother Kali, worship of Mother Kali is just bowing down to an image in the temple. That this whole idea of Brahman and Maya and all of that, this is a very deep significance. But it was that one incident, we heard about it last week, I'll go through it again. This was after Swamiji had lost his father and the family was in terrible poverty. And he went to Sri Ramakrishna, and his logic is very, very faulty. It's very strange logic. I don't believe in this Mother Kali, but you do, and she answers your prayers. Now, what kind of logic is that? Huh? So if you talk to her, then she'll listen to you. But I don't believe in her. Huh? So So Sri Ramakrishna said that, no, she doesn't do anything for you because you don't believe in her. That you yourself have to do it. What can I do? So many times I've told her, but she says, he doesn't care for me. Why should I do anything for him? Anyhow, so this is all the game that they were playing, of course. So then this was actually night of Kali Puja. Huh? And Sri Ramakrishna said to him, you yourself go to the Kali temple and you tell mother that, look, this is the situation, that it's unbearable for me to watch my own mother and to see my brothers and sisters practically starving, that do something for them. So Narendra, he agreed. So he agreed, and he explained what happened. This is in his own words. He said, a strange mood overcame him. Then he says, a sort of profound inebriation possessed me. I was reeling. A firm conviction gripped me that I would actually see Mother and hear her words. Coming to the temple, I saw that Mother was actually pure consciousness, was actually living, and was really the fountainhead of infinite love. Infinite love and beauty. My heart swelled with loving devotion, and beside myself with bliss, I made repeated salutations to her, praying, Mother, grant me discrimination, grant me divine knowledge and devotion, ordain that I may always have an unobstructed vision of you. My heart was flooded with peace. The whole universe completely disappeared, and Mother alone remained, filling my heart. So in this mood, divine inebriation, he goes back to Sri Ramakrishna, and Thakur, he's playing this whole game that he's playing with him. He says, did you remember? He said, what? Remember what? You're supposed to ask for, you're worried about your mother and your brothers and sisters, you're supposed to ask for something. And he said, okay. Then he says, go back again. So second time, same thing happened. Then third time, he remembered. He said, but he felt ashamed to ask for something so small in the presence of the Divine Mother. So he went back and told Sri Ramakrishna, who was delighted. We can't even imagine how happy he was. And this is when he taught him that song, Ma Tvam Hitara, a beautiful song. We heard it last Sunday also, and we'll hear it tonight maybe. Yeah, somebody will sing it, huh? They will hear that tonight, I hope. And he sang it all night long, and the next morning many the devotees came, and they see Narendra is lying there sleeping. And they're thinking, why is he sleeping? It's the daytime. And then Thakur, smiling, he said, he was up the whole night singing this song. He said, Narendra accepted my mother Kali. He was so happy. So a great turning point in the life of Swamiji, but it remained hidden, and I would say remained a little undeveloped also. That it was there, but it wasn't like for Sri Ramakrishna, now everything was mother, mother, mother. This will not come right away. So it remained somehow hidden in the inner recesses of Swamiji's heart. He wrote in a letter to Mary Hale, Kali worship, this is later of course, Kali worship is my special fad. You never heard me preach it or read of my preaching it in India. I only preach what is good for universal humanity. If there's any curious method which applies entirely to me, I keep it a secret, and there it ends. So we know in the West that Swamiji spoke mostly about his Vedanta and yoga and everything. Even Sri Ramakrishna, he spoke about him very, very rarely. He gave 2 lectures, and other than that, barely mentioned his name. Close devotees, of course, something different, but in public. So he wanted principle first. He said, if I preach personality, we can get it thousands of people, but it won't be lasting. He wanted to get this deep conviction about the reality and the truth of teachings of Vedanta. So anyhow, this remained a little bit undeveloped, and we can almost say locked up within Swamiji if we go back and look at that incident in Kashipur. When Swamiji had his Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and he went back to Sri Ramakrishna, and he said that what you've experienced now will be kept locked up in a box. You have mother's work to do. Once you've done that, then you'll get everything back again. So it wasn't that Swamiji was now, he'd lost all that devotion, or that it wasn't a transforming experience, but this idea of doing Thakur's work or mother's work, this is something that now was a burden that was laid on his shoulders. We read Sri Ramakrishna that he said to Narendra, this is very, very close to the end of his life. Now mother has shown you everything, telling Narendra. Just as a treasure is locked up in a box, so with this realization you have just had, remain with me. You have work to do. When you have finished my work, the treasure box will be unlocked again, and you will know everything then as you did just now. So Swamiji said later, 2 or 3 days before Sri Ramakrishna's passing away, she whom he used to call Kali entered this body. Sometimes we say Thakur himself entered into Swamiji. This is a very false distinction for Swamiji, for Holy Mother. Thakur was Mother Kali. Mother Kali was Thakur, very indistinguishable, we can say. Anyhow, 2 or 3 days before Sri Ramakrishna's passing away, she whom he used to call Kali entered this body. It is she who takes me here and there and makes me work. See, now is becoming just like Sri Ramakrishna. Mother Kali is the one who made him do everything, without letting me remain quiet or allowing me to look to my personal comforts. So, this first incident in the Kali temple of Dakshineshwar, there'll be a second great turning point. This was when Swamiji went to Kashmir. They went on that pilgrimage to Amarnath, Sister Nivedita, some of the other Western disciples were there. And Swamiji got into this mood. Everything was Shiva. Going to see this the ice Shiva Lingam in the cave of Amarnath. So tremendous devotion. Everything was Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. And he had that wonderful experience there. And we don't know why or how, but Swamiji says, somehow everything switched to Mother. This thought of Divine Mother, the devotion to Mother, the feeling of being a child of Divine Mother, this just entered into Swamiji so deeply that he said, wherever he turned, he felt the presence of the Mother. This is Nivedita saying, as if she were a person in the room. So now we're getting again this very personal aspect of Divine Mother. He felt as if she, or Sri Ramakrishna himself, were holding him by the hand and leading his every step. So we know the story that this absorption in Mother Kali became so deep that he had to go off on his own. Even the company of his own disciples was something that he felt he had to flee from. And he went, I don't know where, some other houseboat or something on Dal Lake. Anyhow, he went to some secluded place, and he says that one evening his mind was fixed on Mother Kali and all that was dark, painful, and inscrutable in the world, in order to reach divine reality behind all appearances. So this was that terrible aspect of Mother Kali that appealed to the nature of Swamiji also. So his Mother Kali and Sri Ramakrishna's Mother Kali were the same Mother Kali, but emphasis was a little different. So then, as if completely inspired, like a Vedic sage, he wrote his Kali the Mother. And they say at the end, pen fell from his hand and he fell down unconscious. It was such an emotional experience for him. So I'll read that poem. The stars are blotted out. The clouds are covering clouds. it is darkness, vibrant, sonant. In the roaring, whirling wind are the souls of a million lunatics just loose from the prison house, wrenching trees by the roots, sweeping all from the path. The sea has joined the fray and swirls up mountain waves to reach the pitchy sky. The flash of lurid light reveals on every side 1,000 shades of death begrimed in black, scattering plagues and sorrows. Dancing mad with joy, come, mother, come, for terror is thy name, death is in thy breath, and every shaking step destroys a world for air. Thou time, the all-destroyer, come, O mother, come, who dares misery love and hug the form of death. Dance in destruction's dance, to him the mother comes. After this, he went back to the other devotees there, and this is all mostly recorded by Sister Nivedita. She said after that, everything was Mother Kali. Everything was about how to accept the beautiful and the terrible sides of life together. Sister Nivedita writes, he said to her, learn to recognize Mother as instinctively an evil, terror, sorrow, and annihilation, as in that which makes for sweetness and joy. They continued their pilgrimage. They went to the Temple of the Divine Mother, Kir Bhavani. We all know this story, famous shrine. It had been desecrated, almost destroyed during one of the invasions in India. And Swamiji, during this whole period, he world-renowned Swamiji, he went just like a simple pilgrim. Even to Amarnath, he bathed in all of the places, he shaved his head, he did all of the things that everybody else did. So he went just like a humble pilgrim to all of these places. And when he saw the destruction of the temple, he thought to himself, if I had been here, I would have laid down my life to protect you, Mother. Then he heard the voice. He heard Mother's voice scolding him for his pride. He explained later to his disciples, no more Hari Om, it is all Mother now. All my patriotism is gone. Now it is only Mother, Mother. I've been very wrong. Mother said to me, it is Kir Bhavani, what even if unbelievers should enter my temples and defile my images, what is that to you? Do you protect me or do I protect you? So there is no more patriotism. I am only a little child. For me, this is really a turning point. Now, did Swamiji continue with his mission? He went to the West again after this, but different. Then, without that kind of missionary zeal, even the letters that he wrote back, I feel that my play is done, the machinery is in fine working order, I'm not needed anymore. He withdrew from everything, so everything had really changed. And we know that Sri Ramakrishna said about Narendra to the others that once he knows who he really is, that he'll refuse to live in this body anymore. And I don't take this in any high Vedantic sense. I take this as meaning that he was born to do the work of the Divine Mother, to spread the message of Sri Ramakrishna. He was his eternal companion, things like that. It can be taken in the other way. Many of our monks and devotees take it in the other way. It was fine, but to me, I like this idea. This is what Sri Ramakrishna actually meant. So he, after his second visit, he came back, Belur Math. He really led a kind of retired life. His health was very poor. We know that. And then that very final day came, and unlike other days, he went to the shrine very early and locked the door, sat for a long time in meditation. And when he left, he was heard singing that song of Kamalakanta that I mentioned earlier. Is Kali, my mother, really black? The naked one, though black she seems, lights the lotus of the heart. Men call her black, but yet my mind will not believe that she is so. Now she is white, now red, now blue. Now she appears as yellow too. I hardly know who Mother is, though I have pondered all my life. Now Purusha, pure spirit. Now Prakriti, nature. and now the void she seems to be. To meditate on all these things confounds poor Kamalakanta's wits. Let's take a few minutes and sit in quiet meditation now.